Hello everyone and welcome to the ARL F1 League pre-season race round Catalonia. I'm Matthew Gallagher and joining me today is the one and only, well, introduce yourself.
Right guys, it's Ryan Littlemore here and I'll be co-commentating with Matthew around this race here today.
Thank you very much for joining us, Ryan, and as you can see on the screen right now, the Season 5 podium was Noble from Raven and xMattyG came home in third. And xMattyG did in fact get the pole position but got shafted off, unfortunately. But I hope you guys will enjoy the next 34 minutes of jam-packed action.
Yes, hello and welcome to the first qualifying comparison of the season. It's the pre-season race at Catalonia. Ryan L83 on the left, FizzyFan91 on the right, both in the Mauritius. Let's see how they get on as they approach turn 1 on the limiter. Down to third gear, Fizzy clipping the FX nicely. Ryan just running a little bit wide. We'll see if that affects his first sector time as they come through turn 3. A long sweeping corner, waiting to get on that DRS before coming up through 6th gear and grabbing 7th again just before the end of the first sector. Both of them getting the nose of the car into the corner nicely. Both of them get down on Big Shot's first sector time, who is currently on pole as they come through turn 5. Ryan clipping the apex nicely on the left there compared to Fizzy, who's just run a little bit wide as they now come down the hill towards this mid part of the sector. Using the camber of the corner to chuck the car in, both of them hitting it nicely. Ryan using a little bit more exit curbing to get a better speed through there as they come through the blind right-hander and down towards the end of the second sector. Braking hard at the 100-metre board, trying not to let the car run too wide, which Fizzy has unfortunately done. And we'll see as you come through the curbing on the left, that is the gap between the two with just this final sector to go. Try not to let the car run too wide. Ryan just about managing that compared to Fizzy, who's done it nicely as they now come into this 90-degree right-hander, chucking the car in third gear. Coming through the final chicane, Ryan's got a car ahead of him. Hopefully that won't put him off too much, but they're both taking a nice line through there as they come through the final corner. KERS activated, DRS activated, with Ryan doing a 1:19.2 and Fizzy 9/10 back on a 1:20.1.
Many thanks to Harry Jacks for that hot lap there. So qualifying, we saw Big Shot player set the fastest time with a 1:19.053, with xMattyG 0.139 of a second behind, with ARL Limitless and Ryan L83 third and fourth. Toronto Tigger and Randy McScrandy in 5th and 6th, 3 temps behind the top 6 there, which is very good to see. Rich C in 7th with iProCallum in 8th, The Constant and FizzyFan91 completing the top 10. Traceman92 is in 11th but has a 10-second 10th place drop penalty for an incident with LC speed demon in qualifying. Mazy CZ in 12th with ACR Jordan in 13th, LC in 14th with ACR Raven in 15th, who did not set a lap time, and Noble 299 16th but does not race as he did not turn up to the race.
And now it's race time. The weather's clear, it's xMattyG and Ryan L83 as commentators, and the scene is set for what is going to look like an incredible race. So we have footage from Ryan L83, FizzyFan91, Cody RB, who was ACR Raven before changing his name, Mazy CZ, and the 5 lights are on. And away we go! Ryan straight into rich fuel mixture there, and he's going to use a little bit of a curse, but he's not actually catching at all on the top 3. It looks like xMattyG is actually taking the lead from Big Shot, who was the pole sitter. And take us through the rest, Ryan.
Yeah, we're on board with Cody RB now, or otherwise known as ACR Ravens. They're approaching turn 1 now, and in the distance we can see some contact there between 3 drivers. I think it was iProCallum, Toronto Tigger and Ryan L83. As we're going to jump on board with Ryan now as he gets passed by FizzyFan91, his teammate, and as Richie C down the inside, as we're on board back with Cody now, coming towards the start of the second sector now. And see Tigger locking up there as we're back on board with Fizzy, and he loses the back end there and luckily avoids his teammate but makes contact with Ricky C, I think. And I think he got a penalty there, Matt.
Yeah, it seems like there was a bit of carnage going on into the first few corners, but it seems that xMattyG is in the lead at the moment from Big Shot player, although there was a lot of contact, so we'll have to get that confirmed. But we're on board now with Cody RB, who has had a decent start considering he did start in 15th place, I believe. So he'll be happy with his start as he's up to 7th now, just behind Ryan.
Yeah, as Cody's right on the back of him, but we're back on board with Ryan. So coming to start the final second, he's lost the back end and goes straight into the wall and loses his front wing there. That is not good for Ryan there.
No, that's his race over, I think, to be honest. He's not really going to be able to fight from there, considering it is lap 1, and he's not going to be able to one-stop from there, I'm pretty sure. 32 laps on the primes is going to be a struggle. And we're now on board with Mazy for the replay of the first corner. He clips the rear end of Jordan, but seems to get away with it. And now we've actually gone on board with Jordan, and he doesn't seem to feel much until Cody comes steaming up the inside of him and pretty much sticks him in the gravel there, Ryan.
Yeah, I think the problem with Raven to UK drivers is the lag issue that we have with connections, and it's a real shame to see that happening, as we're going to be back on board with Togomies now, as he's in 10th place, and we're into the pits now. Jody, you going to take us through it?
Yeah, he's a bit disappointed, is Ryan here. He's lost his wing. He's on his way. He's going to just have to put this behind him and try and do best of what he's got.
That's Jody Mills there, our pit lane reporter. He's part-time, so excuse him for anything that he just says wrong. But anyway, Cody is up to 6th place now, and he's hunting down Contadins. It's not great, the two connections between these guys, because they live in two completely separate parts of the world. But he has gone purple, but as we all know, lap 2, everyone's going purple unless you've had a terrible lap.
Certainly will, but we'll back on board with Tracy92 as he's about to start the final sector. It looks like ToGomies is all on the back of him now. It's a matter of moments before Tigger gets past, as he is on the option tyres, whereas Jody is on the hard prime tyre, which can go really far. I think it's 22 laps these tyres can go on, Matt.
Yeah, and by Jody we mean TraceMe92. It's just that we know Trace very well, so we call him Jody, just for anyone who was wondering. It looks like Trace is going to try and defend from Tigger, but we got to say, as xMattyG sets the fastest lap, that Tigger is in the slipstream, and he's got an absolutely excellent run with that Sauber, which is known to have a slight speed advantage compared to all the other cars. And it looks like someone else is going to be inside as well. It's Ricky C. What a great move there as well by him, although he is on the options as well, so I think Trace would have been expecting these moves to happen.
Yeah, as for Joe, oh, he goes really wide there, TraceMe92 there.
Fizzy's coming now.
Yeah, he's going to dive down that inside as TraceMe made that mistake, which has benefited Fizzy as he's trying to catch up to the field after that mistake on the first lap.
And Cody's made a mistake there as well, going through turn, I'm going to say 4 or 5. So he's dropped off the back of Constance, meaning he may well miss out. And he's lost the back end again. He may well miss out on DRS this lap, which could mean he falls prey to Mazy. However, looking at the mini-map, it seems like Mazy's probably 3-4 seconds behind. So he's not going to be in trouble from behind there.
Yep, as we're back on board with Trace Me92 as he's trying to catch up to Fizzy, Fan91, using a bit of his curves there, but he's keeping a bit for the end of the final corner, as that is where DRS is going to be. So Jody will have needs a good exit and use the rest of his curves to get a good speed advantage, get in the slipstream of Fizzy and get past him there.
It seems like he will have the speed advantage over Fizzy, because it doesn't look like Fizzy will get DRS from the car ahead. So Trace will be wanting to get in front of an option runner just to make sure that he can, make as big an impact on their race as possible and hopefully hold them up. But with this straight, it's pretty hard to keep them behind with DRS.
Yeah, as we can see, ARL Limitless has set the new fastest lap at 23.455 as we're back on board with Cody now, as he's in 6th position trying to get past the Constants, but both of them have caught to the top 4 there, it looks like.
Yeah, it seems like there hasn't been any breakaway runners from at the front. I think it's TRL Limitless that is now winning, potentially. Actually, I don't want to say that at all. I want to say xMattyG is still winning, but Limitless is very close behind within DRS.
Yeah, as Cody is set the fastest first sector of anyone by 4/10 of a second, it looked like. As it just seems that he's more comfortable in this middle sector than Constance is, Matt.
Yeah, it seems like he's got a bit more confidence in the Williams compared to the Ferrari of Contadins, and as you quite rightly said in the first sector, he's also purple in the middle sector. So it seems like he may well be on to a fastest lap, but then again, Contadins with the dirty air is going to be affecting his lap time in the last sector.
Certainly will, as we're back on board with Fizzy. It looks like he's made a mistake somewhere, as his front left tyre has got a lot of grass on it, or is it marble? But it's not really going to help him in these corners, Matt, isn't it?
No, with this game it definitely is very, very difficult to keep the car on the track and up to speed with dirt on your tyres. But it now looks like Cody is trying to get past Constance, but he has maxed out, and it looks like Constance got a little bit of a longer gearbox than him there, Ryan.
Yep, and notice as well he has the DRS as well, so it looked like he was just under a second to the car in front, as you indeed right. Limitless is leading the race at the minute.
Yes, great. Well, that's not great for xMattyG, but I'm sure he'll be keeping right behind him. And Cody does a little dive bomb on the inside there, and he's made it stick. He's kept it to the curb and not made any contact with contrubuted. So it was a very good move there for Cody, and he's up to 5th place. So 10 places up from the start.
Yeah, that's good driving from the pair of them as well, considering that, as you said at the start, both of them are from 2 separate countries, and lag will play a role if they did make contact. So it's good driving from the pair of them there.
Definitely, I'll have to agree with that. But anyway, a little bit of news in terms of the actual teams, because obviously we have had a season on the ARL in the F1 leagues, and we can confirm that xMattyG and Noble2909, who unfortunately couldn't race today, are teaming up again, but are forced to join the Toro Rosso team, as people with higher preference took the cars that Matty and Noble wanted to team up in. So unfortunately, they had to go in the Toro Rosso. We have Limitless teaming up with Tigger in the Sauber, which is going to be an interesting pairing, and Raven has teamed up with Big Shot in the Williams. So that's the sort of top 6 anyway in terms of the actual pairings for next season.
As we're going to be back on board now with Cody as we're starting lap number 6, and it looks like Constance is going to have a bit of DRS, and he could have a chance of overtaking him in turn 1. He's going to try and go around on the outside of Cody, but decides against it as Randy McScrandy sets a new fastest lap of 23.4 as we're back on board with Tracy92 now, as he's using DRS to get past Fizzy Fan 91 in front. And if he can get past Fizzy here, that'll be really good for Tracy92 there, Matt.
Yeah, as well, Fizzy and all the option runners, you know, their tyres will be starting to go off now, whereas Tracer's will obviously his primes will be a lot fresher, and he's actually gone around the outside of Fizzy with the rest of his curves. That's a nice move there. He's managed to not run off the track.
Yeah,
and just about managed to keep it on the track there.
Yeah, I was about to say, it was a nice little move there from Trace92 around the outside, and it looks like he's made a mistake coming into turn 4. This gives Fizzy a chance to dive down the inside and use his curves, which he has, and he's regained the position there, Matt. Good move there.
Yeah, but it seems like there's a bit of lag going on there, and they've both collided, and they're both sliding the same way. Bit of synchronised sliding there, and it seems that Trace has received a penalty for that collision, although you can't really blame anyone, can you, really?
Now, as we said with Constance and Raven, there is a bit of lag surrounding our connections with other drivers, so it's a bit unfortunate, that incident, but you have to take the penalty, I'm afraid, with the game. Yeah,
you have to take it, but with the ARL, it's quite good that you can actually prove with some footage or some sort of evidence that, you know, you can get the penalty taken off at the end of the race. I don't think we'll bother with the pre-season, but when the league actually starts, people can sort of appeal their penalties and get them removed. It seems like a Big Shot, who was one of the top 3, has fallen to 4th place after a mistake looking like into the first corner there.
Yeah, it has, and we're back on board with Fizzy Fan 91. He's going to try and get past ACR Jordan, the Ferrari. He was also trying to catch up to this pack after what happened to him at turn 1 with the incident with Cody there. But it looks like Fizzy's using a lot of steering angle there to turn into this long right-hander, and he goes a bit wide there. And as always with this game, if you go off the track into the AstroTurf or even on the grass, the car will slow down automatically. So you'll try and you'll have to really give it the full beans and catch up. As we're just back on board with Cody, he's going to try and make a move down his teammate here on Big Shot. Gets down the inside, and there's a beautiful move there, Matt.
Yeah, that was a nice move there. And back to what happened to Fizzy, I think it was actually the dirty air from the car in front, especially at turn 3. It's particularly tricky to go around there following a car, so that's why he had ridiculous amounts of understeer. But anyway, back to Cody. It was a very good move there, but it looks like he's going to lose that position straight back to Big Shot because he won't have the use of DRS. And it seems like xMattyG's actually fallen to 3rd place now. Or no, he's actually in the pits, Jody. What's happening there?
Oh, he's coming towards me. He's pitted early, and he's going to put his tyres on.
Right, that's good to know. Thank you very much for that, Jody. I can, in fact, confirm that xMattyG did pit early because he thought the undercut would be useful and good round here because he couldn't get out of the DRS of the other 2 cars that were up there, which is Limitless and, I want to say, Randy McScrandy, as you can see there. So he's pitted early, Ryan. Do you reckon that's going to work for him?
Personally, I think it's a risky move, considering pitting early, but it really depends on how many laps these guys at the front did in qualifying. If they did more than 2 laps, then yeah, I would agree with them to pit as early as possible. If you did the solitary wrap, I would probably say stay out till maybe lap 10 or 11 or 12. As it looked like Limitless there made a mistake coming out of that right-hander there, as Cody's really on the back of Limitless, and there's a bit of lag there, so it's going to be very interesting between the pair of them here.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get Limitless into the... Although it looks like Limitless had a bit of a slide there, so maybe he's about to lose DRS from Randy in 1st place at the moment. But It looks like he's just within a second, so I don't think Cody will be able to nab him on this straight, but it's pretty close between the top 4, you have to say.
Yeah, it's very close. I'd probably say the gap is about 3 seconds, I think, between the top 4. And it
doesn't look like Limitless did get DRS, so Cody is now up to 2nd place.
Yeah, that's an easy move there with obviously DRS, a bit more speed, gives you about an extra 12 kilometers an hour, as he just gets that brilliantly done there with the use of DRS. And I think that mistake from Limitless with the slide did really cost him that position there.
Yeah, so now we've cut to the end of lap 9, and seems like Randy was riding the curbs a little bit hard there, but he's popped into the pits now, and Cody is now going to use the rest of his curves, and I think he's going to get DRS as well, so he's going to push really hard for this next lap to try and, well, come out in first place really, or a net first place at least, because there are prime runners behind. But he set the fastest lap of 22.988, so he's got the pace. Can he make it stick for the next lap, considering his tyres are degrading?
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how he pans this out, but a 22.9 on worn options is very competitive, I would say, as we're jumping on board with Mazy, the highest front runner on the prime tyres, starting on the primes that is, and he's really on the back of the Constantins now. And I think Constantins, from what I can see, I think he will have to pit this lap if he's going to try and keep up with the front runners of Matt, Randy and Raven when he eventually pits.
Yeah, you have to say Constantins is struggling quite a lot, because Mazy's all over the back of him, and as you can see, peels off into the pits, and Mazy's kept all of his curves for the final corner, because I think he was planning on getting past Constantins down the straight, but he hasn't got to worry about that now, and Fizzy has got some more dirt on his tyres, so it doesn't look like it's going too well for the old legend, as people call him. But his tyres are looking a little bit worse for wear, but he's carried on for another lap, and it looks like Trace is going to finally get past Fizzy in the DRS zone.
Yeah, and to think there as well, he's got the standard fuel mixture, so if I was Fizzy, I would have used the fast fuel mix to try and keep Trace me behind. But as we said with DRS, if you get it up and get in that slipstream of Fizzy, you're going to get past it straight away.
Yeah, I think Fizzy had just kind of conceded the position and knew that because of the state of his tyres, he wouldn't be able to survive. But, I mean, Cody's got exactly the same lap hole tyres as Fizzy, and he's seemed to make it work as he pops into the pits now, Jody.
Yeah, but he is in the pits this time, and he's got to be happy. He's starting 15th and coming into the pits first. He's going to get his tyres on, get away with it, and hope we'll see where he pops out. I can't see where it says he's going to pop out, but I'm thinking 5th or 6th. What do you think, Matt?
I'm not too sure, to be honest, because I think a lot of the option runners have pitted, but I think there's Mazy, and then there's maybe Ricky C as well, potentially. But it says he's in 3rd at the moment, but we've got a lot of cars coming down the straight now. Who is that going past? I'm not too sure. But, oh, it's LC Speed Demon, so that's another prime runner, I think. And xMattyG's right behind, as you can see with the directional arrow. But I can give you some inside information that, in fact, there was a little bit of lag there, and Matt lost the car because he kind of went up the arse of Raven. But unfortunately for Matt, he did lose a position to Randy as well.
Yeah, as we're back on board Trace Me 92, as we're back into the pit lane, as we can see Fizzy fan coming in. So Jody, take us through it.
Yeah, Fizzy's just come into the pits, and he's got his new tyres on. He's going to have to do a long stint, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get points from there, but if he drives really well, we can do.
Unfortunately, Ted Kravitz did not pick out the fact that Fizzy had a sticky wheel nut for some reason. I think it was the collision that Fizzy had with Trace, because he had a 6.2 second pit stop without changing a front wing, so that's very odd, because I don't think I've ever seen that before. Ryan, have you?
I've never seen that before, Matt, so very, very bizarre to see that in this game. As we can see, I think someone's coming out the pit lane, is that? Or
yeah, it's like a Sauber, is that?
I think it's Limitless.
Tigger.
It's Tigger. And there's a bit of contact there, looked like, from what I saw there.
Yeah, it seems like Limitless and Tigger came to... it's not Limitless, sorry. Ricky and Tigger came together a little bit there, because Ricky went straight on at turn 1, and Tigger lost positions to Trace as well. So I'm not too sure how well Trace's race is actually going, because he is in 10th, and he hasn't... Has he pitted yet? Because he was on the prime, so I would have expected Trace to be a little bit higher up here.
Yeah, I would agree with him as well, considering the guys at the front will be pinned. But I think it was the start. I think with the options you can go, I think about 1.5 to 2 seconds quicker than the ones on the primes at the start of the race, as the primes will take about 3 to 4 laps around here to get a lot of grip. As Trace is going to take the inside of ACR Jordan to 9th place.
Cuts the corner slightly, but they are still side by side in this last sector, and Trace is trying to hang it round the outside and get on the power early. He has done so, and he's actually got the traction, and he's going to make it stick, is he? Yes, he is, into the final chicane. He's still covering very well indeed, but Jordan, you've got to think now, is going to have DRS and get him straight back. So he's going to use the rest of his curves, Trace, out of this last corner. Where is Jordan? It looks like he's actually fallen back quite a lot, and Ricky's actually got past him as well. So Trace may well have got away with that there.
Yeah, as a big shot player sets the new fastest lap at 22.8, as we're back on board with Cody, as he's desperately trying to get past LC Speed Demon, as xMattyG is only half a second behind. So the more Cody stays behind LC, Matt's got a great opportunity to get past him.
Yeah, it seems like LC on his older primes is trying to hold up Raven as much as possible. Sorry, Cody, but Cody's now got grass on his left front, which means he hasn't got enough grip, and he's lost the car, and he's straight into the wall. He's lost his front wing and unfortunately lost connection at the same time. What a coincidence.
It is. That's a bit unfortunate, but that will have to probably go down to lag, I'll probably say, at the start initially, but then when LC pulled away a bit, it looks like Raven, with a bit of the gravel as well on his front right tyre, lost it completely and just went into the wall and lost his wing, which is a bit of a disappointment for him.
I'm not too sure there was any lag that involved there on. I think Cody just got a bit frustrated, tried to just dive up the inside, misjudged where the grass actually was, got the grass onto the front left, as we've mentioned before, with the tyres. As you know, if they're dirty, they're not going to have any grip, and he tried to take too much speed into that left-right and found himself in the gravel and then into the wall as well. So I think it was just a mistake on Cody's part, but he'll definitely take that into account when we come here in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, as we just want to briefly bring in that moment with Mazy, he did the same thing as what Raven did, just trying to be a bit aggressive, broke a bit late, and he had front marbles on his front right tyre, so he's going to be struggling for that. As we just saw there as well, TogoMaster got past Trace 92 and is up into 8th place as we're on to lap 16.
Yes, we are. So Trace, it's not going great for him. He's just pretty much a sitting duck at the moment on his primes with the people who have just pitted, and he's actually tried to get on the power too early, and he's lost another place to Ricky C because he's gone straight into the grass and almost got beached in the gravel there.
Yeah, as we're going to be back on board with Fizzy Fan 91, who's down to 14th place, but he has pitted as LC Speed Demon is slowing down. I think he's lost a bit of his wing. He must have hit the wall. I think from our sources he lost it out of turn 1 and hit into the barrier at turn 2, so LC's got a long way back to the pit lane here, Matt. He's going to be not really out of the ring for a point now, is he? Or 10th place?
No, it's an unfortunate pre-season race for LC, considering he's managed to get back into F1 after unfortunately running out of fuel at Brazil the season before. But anyway, we're back on board with Trace, and it seems like there's quite a bit of lag going on with Ricky C, but which is going to be pretty off-putting to say the least. But it seems like Ricky is actually behind, which is obviously a bit ominous when you go into breaking points, Ryan.
It is, and we're back, and we're on board with Ryan ARL83 now as he's coming to the back of ACR Jordan, who, I have to admit, Ryan's done pretty well considering he was really 40 seconds off the lead at one point, and he's caught up to these guys at the back. So you have to give some credit to Ryan there, as he's going to overtake ACR Jordan and go into the top 10 for the first time this race since his incident.
Yeah. It's a good comeback drive, and he's up into 10th, so it's fair play to him, but he probably will have to pit again, I'm assuming, considering he did pit on lap 1. But it looks like Trace is now under pressure from Ricky again. There's a bit of lag between these two, but they've still managed to keep it fairly clean. And Ricky's now gone up into 8th place as Ryan's now run wide, and it looks like ACR Jordan is going to get back past up the inside going into the second sector.
Yeah, as Ryan's broke a bit early, he's going to duck down that inside, and the side-by-side action coming towards this hairpin, not an overtaking place around the outside, as the still side-by-side, Matt, as they're coming round, and Ryan's getting a tad pushed off by Jordan, but doesn't bother with that and uses his curves and gets past him there. Good move there.
Yeah, it's good use of his curves there to keep in front of Jordan, but now he's lost the car again and he's onto the grass. This is not going well at all. He's got no grip at all because there's just grassy tyres. He can't even get on the power. He's trying to get on the power in 4th gear, and here comes iProX Callum. Oh gosh, Ryan is causing absolute havoc for the drivers out there.
It is, as we see Mazy pitting now, so Joe, take us through it.
Yeah, he's pitted from up in the lead, I believe. He's got his options on now, and he's going to come out, it looks like about 6th, and he's going to put in some really rapid laps it looks like now, and probably push on for the podium maybe.
Yeah, Mazy is looking good for a pretty good result here, considering, you know, he isn't one of the standout drivers, I'd say, because he's definitely stand out when it's in wet conditions, but in dry it seems like he lacks a little bit of pace. I'm not too sure why that is, but he's having a very good outing here today, so maybe next season will be good for him.
Yeah, as we saw there, Trace B92 pitted as well, so he's going to be on the options, and he's just come out behind these two here of Ryan ARL83 and iPro Callum, who are both trying to catch up to the front runners, as they both had incidents in the first 5 laps. So these guys, I think they could possibly stay out to the bitter end, but the problem with that is their tyres will be really worn at this point, and they do not want to gamble staying out and get a puncher. As we're going to be going on to Trace 92 now, as they're about to start lap 23.
Yes, Trace is on the options as well now, so he'll be looking to push really hard. And it seems like, is that Ryan going into the pits now? So it seems like no, he couldn't survive another 11 laps on those prime tyres, which I do not blame him whatsoever, because I pitted, well, xMattyG pitted early, and he definitely did struggle towards the end of the race. As it looks like Mazy and Constance are, well, wheel to wheel, pretty much legitimately, I mean, whatever I mean. But anyway, Mazy is trying to get past Constance as quickly as possible because he is on the faster tyre, and Constance looks like he's in a little bit all over the place, Ryan.
He certainly is. I think, as I said, with these prime tyres, they take around 3 to 4 laps to get optimal temperature. So really, if Mazy's got any chance of a podium, he's got to get past him, and he's kind of done that right straight away, ducking down that inside and getting it done there.
He's gone up the inside there, but he's got to try and create a gap in this last sector if he wants to stay ahead of him after DRS. But you'd like to think he will be able to on these fresh options. As you can see, the grip, the front end is just sticking, and he's able to really push. But now he's pushed a little bit too hard, and he's tried to go too fast into the chicane, and he's lost that position back to Confidence.
He's got it all to do again. But do you think he has a chance of getting a podium, Matt, if he keeps this up?
Well, looking at the mini-map, it seems like, you know, the top sort of, well, the top 5, so after Confidence, are pretty bunched together, and, you know, with the option tyre and people in front of him struggling on their tyres by the end, you know, anything can happen. So Mazy now has got to get past Confidence, and that's what he's doing by saving all of his curves for this straight. And he's definitely got the move done now, unless Confidence does some sort of ridiculous dive bomb, which I cannot see happening.
Nope, as Mazy sets a new PB of 22.6, so yeah, I think Mazy had to get past Constance there and try and go up there. As we've got a replay here on of Ryan 83, it looks like he's going to try and make a move down the inside of iPro, and he gets that nicely done there, Matt. That's a nice little move there. Yeah,
nice little move, ran a little bit wide, but we'll forgive him for that. But yeah, he's got to get past these people, considering he made that mistake right at the beginning. But he's back down to 12th, so he's out of the points, and you know, he's quite close between these two, Jordan and Fizzy. And it looks like Fizzy's made a bit of a mistake there, didn't get in the power as early as he would have liked, and Jordan's just steamed past on the option tyre. But he's run a little bit wide, but I don't think Fizzy's going to be able to get the traction and the purchase out of that corner to make a move into the next one.
Yeah,
and he hasn't.
Yeah, just want to point out as well that Fizzy's on the primes and ACR Jordan is on the options there, so Jordan has the advantage over Fizzy, but Ryan is really, I think he's about 2 seconds behind the pair of them, so these two could have a bit of bother with Ryan catching him up, and even iPro as well.
Yeah, I think Jordan will be confident that he'll be able to stick with 10th place as Fizzy runs wide and dips the tyre into the gravel. I think Jordan will be very, you know, well, quite confident that he'll be able to keep a 3-second gap to the cars behind, considering he is on options as well. As you can see, Ryan is on optimal fuel, so he won't be able to push as hard as he would have liked in these last few laps, but he's definitely been flown up to the back of Fizzy already.
Yeah, I think the problem with Ryan is he had to catch up to the drivers after his incident on the first lap, so he had to use the fast fuel mixture as early as possible, trying to get up, and he lost the back end a bit there, but nothing too serious. He's going to use his rich mood. He's gone down to -1 lap, but he's not going to bother with that. He wants to get past Fizzy. He is on the prime tyre, and Fizzy tries to go a bit of lag there, but Fizzy sticks to the right hand side and lets his teammate through.
Yeah, I don't think there was much point in trying to challenge any harder than that, because I think Fizzy knew the speed differences was just too much, and the tyre difference as well. He's just going to lose even more time if he tries to keep someone who's on fresh options behind. So I think Fizzy's definitely sort of conceded the fact that he may not be getting points today.
Yeah, as Ryan's locked a bit there, he's trying to be a bit aggressive there into that corner. He's got a bit of mob on both his tyres at the front, but he's only 4 tenths behind ACR Jordan, and really Ryan could have a chance here, but you never know in these races, anything can happen.
Yeah, surprising. I think ACR Jordan may have made a few mistakes, because Ryan was 3 or so seconds behind, and now, with 3 laps to go still, that Ryan has cruised up to the back of him, and now we'll have DRS on the Ferrari, and he's probably just going to steam past him, and that is exactly what happens.
Yeah, and Jordan's only option is he has to get back in that slipstream of Ryan's and try and close the gap slightly, as it looks like Ryan's gone a bit too wide, I think, into turn 1, and we'll have a bit of a problem coming out of turn 2. As you can see, Jordan is really back on there, as we're up to lap 31 with Mazy on the back of xMattyG.
Yeah, as we said, Mazy on his fresher options has been able to cruise up to the front pack, with xMattyG struggling on his tyres, and he's realised now that pitting early was not a good decision, and he did have a massive collision with Big Shot earlier on in the race that we didn't unfortunately get any footage of. which lost him about 7 to 8 seconds, and they were battling for the lead. So unfortunately, xMattyG is a bit of a sitting duck now because his tyres are completely gone, and Mazy is going straight past him now with DRS. Seems like it's going to be quite close still into turn 1. What's going to happen here? Mazy brakes later because he's on the fresher tyres. Oh, xMattyG's just about managed to get round the corner without crashing into the back of Mazy. So Mazy's now into 5th place, now trying to hunt down Limitless.
Yeah, as I just want to point out as well, if you didn't see it, Matt, there was smoke coming out of the back of Limitless's Sauber in the last couple of corners as well.
Yeah, that's not surprising. That's a bit of lag that ARL Limitless has, and he's had it for quite a few races in the last season, especially around Monza, I think it was. It's very strange. It's as if he's constantly locking up, and it looks like his engine's blown, but he definitely hasn't. It's just lag, and it's really unfortunate for the drivers behind.
It really is, and Mazy there. It looked like he's going down to -1 lap, so he has to put it into lean, as there's only really 2 laps to go of the race, so he doesn't want to run out of fuel at this point, as he's done a pretty good job considering he's on the prime timer at the start.
Yeah, he's done really well. I mean, we saw a few mistakes that he made earlier on in the race, and he's managed to get up into 5th place, and only a handful of seconds behind first. Because I think we just saw 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in front of us going through those the last chicane. So he's going to be really happy and taking this positive performance into the first race at Australia.
Certainly will, as we're starting the final lap now of this pre-season race in Catalonia, Spain, as he set a 22 flat, and obviously that was with a bit of fuel conservation, as we saw he did go to -1 lap, as there's still a bit of lag there with Limitless, but he is on the back of 3rd position, and I don't know who it is, but the back on board of ACR Jordan, as he's 1.7 behind Ryan, and he loses it. He loses the back end straight into that wall. I think his tyres have definitely gone there, as Fizzy might have a chance here of getting 11th place, and he's going to dive down the inside, looks like.
Yeah, side by side through the chicane. That's great driving there by the pair of them, and it seems like Jordan definitely had his tyres a bit wrecked for those next few corners after smashing into that UBS sign. But he has got the DRS, so he will be able to get onto the back of Fizzy again. And Fizzy looks like he's really slow down the straights. He may have not used much curves down this straight to defend later in the lap, but Jordan will be looking to pounce back onto 11th. But it's not really, they're not really fighting for any points, just pride.
Yeah, as I think Fizzy's strategy for this final lap, as you said, but he didn't use a lot of curves as he was slow in a straight line. He may be saving it for probably the last corner, as that's probably Jordan's final chance of an overtake, but we never know in these races. We're back on board with Mazy now, as he's coming towards the final corner to end the race. Limitless kind of cuts the corner there, and it looks like Mazy could try and get a move past Limitless here, as Togomies takes the victory of the race, and it looks like Limitless is just going to pit Mazy to 4th place there.
Yeah, it seemed like Limitless lost the back end a little bit going through the final chicane of the final lap, and it now looks like Jordan is on the back of Fizzy. He's using the rest of his curves. I don't know when Fizzy's going to use his curves or if he has used it all, but Jordan's now trying to hang it around the outside, and Fizzy's lost it. So Jordan has gone up into 11th place, which will mean a lot to the Scotsman, who, this is his first proper race in F1 as such, although it is only a pre-season race after coming up through the ranks. So he'll be pretty happy to overtake what is seen as, Fizzy fan is seen as the legend.
Certainly is, and Fizzy's gonna. Oh, he loses the back end there. His tyres are definitely gone. Jordan will see a big sigh of relief about that Fizzy's incident at that last corner, and Fizzy's gonna come home in 12th place there. So very good performance there.
That was a great race, and so Togomies took the win, which was a great result for him, considering he was so far down the field, with Big Shot Player coming home in 2nd place after that collision with xMattyG. Randy McScrandy rounds off the podium places, with ARL Limitless just missing out in 4th. Mazy CZ, a great performance by him, finishing on the option tyres in 5th, with xMattyG pretty disappointed in 6th, considering he did lead for the first stint. Contrubuted in 7th, with Rich C, another one of the debutees, in 8th place. Tracy92 with a plus 10-second penalty, as well as Rich having it in 9th. ARL X360 rounding up the top 10, with Jordan 11th. Callum actually beat Fizzy because he had a penalty. Raven did not finish due to that unfortunate disconnection, with LC being disqualified and Noble didn't start. So thank you very much for joining us for the first, it's the pre-season race of the ARL F1 League. I've been Matthew Gallagher.
And I've been Ryan Littlemore.
We'll see you for the first race at Australia. Bye bye.
Take care.